薄い汚れてる手のひらを照らすネオンあら純粋に命に幸あれと軽々しく依然的な歌を今日も歌うよ雨に濡れた土を歩いたならば泥にまみれて当たり前でしょそれならいいそうAnd do tryステップ踏んで軽やかに垂れた音鳴らして笑顔の裏側に押し込めて涙も理不尽も終わってる今だけはつまらないノイズに踊らされるなんて鳴らせるはずさカナディアン光り輝くステージは幻青きらめの感じそうさとそんなの分かってる限界の先を見つけたくなるんだ Let the club 響かせて華やかなリズム反響して手に落としてもいい幸せは簡単が大事飽きてきた頃に楽しめばいい短い大切なことはそれだけさあトラブル飛び越えたならどこの自分のそれまで新しいリズムにねやっと楽しんでねつまらないノイズに踊らされるなんて聞かせておくれ高らかに
We did it! Hello everyone. Welcome to the debut stream of Solo Score Rush. I am very glad to be here with you guys for our first ever stream of my first ever hosted tournament. This is going to be very exciting for me and for the people involved as well. So I hope we are all ready for this first impression of the tournament. As always, I am Lot, and co-commentating with me are going to be not one, but two commentators. Just because.
Yeah, hello. I am gonna be one of the co-casters. I am going to be Nightcore, and I'm very happy to be joined by you, Lad, and our second co-caster here, Manuelchi. How are you doing?
Well, I am very happy to be here. I think this is my second badge tournament that I'm commentating in. I'm really excited for this one. I am also a player in this tournament, so yeah, we will see what these pools will look like and what we will have to play in this.
Yep, we have basically three different perspectives commentating for this map pool. The main map pool staff, the probably unrelated staff, and one of the strongest players in the tournament right here.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good to see all the perspectives, pretty much. And hey, at least for Manuel, he'll be able to first-hand experience the pool. Well, probably from the 5-second stream, probably just from the 10-second stream delay, but you know.
Yeah. All right. I think we can get right into it.
Yep, the 2-hour delay has been dreading enough for all of us. So let us start with the first map. This is going to be P4Q's Hyperlight made by Rayhin. If you noticed, yes, I'm GFX for this background, and this will also be the case for every other map I GFX. Just some basic graphic designing for all 8 stages of the qualifiers. By the way, this skin is made by Rayhin and what is it again?
Would it be Terra? I would probably guess.
It's Aikyo Fuka, aka Onori, I think.
Kiron.
ASCII fanboy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, this map is going to be a very dumb-focused technical pick. As you can see, there are a lot of erratic snaps that, in theory, are flowy, but is extremely tricky to play. And not to mention this pretty abrasive long jack section right there.
Yeah, definitely the anchors at this BPM. It's just kind of something you have to manage in between everything. See, I think for a lot of players, like, it's one of those maps where it's going to be kind of hard to keep on your combo and your accuracy as well. It's something you both have to juggle. But I think maybe for higher seed players, I think it might not be too bad. But again, I think the consistency side will have to be the more important. Because if you could just look at how abrasive and so close these patterns are, it would be pretty hard to get out of a combo break unscathed, pretty much.
Yeah, and as Lot said, this is a dump focused rice tech. We do see lots of graces in this map actually. But yeah, the map is going to be ending soon, and we can move on to stage 2. So
Yup,
Lot, take us away.
This map is, I believe, a bit between Route 32 and Route 60 on MWC. While this next map, it's probably like it's balanced, but maybe a bit hard for the players who are a bit lower in terms of physicality. This is going to be your mixed shield focused hybrid. If you recognize the MWC 23 qualifiers, the Nimu hole, then this map is pretty akin to that.
Shields definitely are something. I feel like you could compare it to pretty much Marmite. Some people just thrive in this category of area, and some people just absolutely, and some people just strongly dislike it. Now again with the hybrid aspect, of course you do have some of the rise notes as well accompanying it, but as well with some of those jacks at that BPM, it's something you kind of have to keep your eye on. Now thankfully, releases, like I say for the release aspect, I would say it's probably pretty normal. You got a few of those short elements here, and as we are getting into the halfway point, we're getting a bit more of that emphasis on some of those shields and even some mini jacks as well present. So I think as long as you can release well going into some of those mini jacks, I think you should be pretty comfortable. Otherwise, you could pick up a few combo breaks or misjudgments.
Yeah, I would say this map is the easiest of everything, but it's still pretty tricky. I think the main difficulty comes from actually getting a high accuracy, in fact, because when everyone is doing so well, you just feel a bigger competition to get a near perfect play. And the map itself is not as straightforward as the so-called easy name may suggest, so it's going to be like a mix of interesting aspects into play on making this not an easy map in qualifiers combat. Oh my god, that's true.
Oh, yeah, I did also kind of see some emphasis on the roll patterns earlier in the map, but those shows at the end were probably the most evilest map. I mean, part in the map. Sorry.
You know,
Yeah.
right, this map is made by the stage 2 map is made by Jaden, aka Just Any Do You Know, so congrats on your tournament debut. But anyways, we'll be moving on to stage 3. Some of you may be familiar with Eclipse as a tournament mapper. He is here now in Solo Score Rush with his very typical coordination release mapping style.
Yeah, Eclipse is a really well-known mapper in the tournament scene. Still going to be one of the most popular. But yeah, he's quite known for his dense LN maps. So we're going to be seeing that right now.
Yup, it's like pseudo chord focused, pseudo inverse, I guess.
And as
But
we
oh, go on.
And as we actually are kicking into the key eye as well. So like you're getting a mix of some of those heavier emphasis notes, but again, as you can see from the start, we do have some of those more different snap releases. And as the BPM does actually kick up as well, we're kind of seeing that small bit of density mixed in, although keeping more the coordination side. You can even see some of those mini LN gluts as well, that you kind of have to keep that rhythm on, and even some of those reverse shields as well, getting into the outer transition before we kind of do get that break, and we do have this more calm area before we do have to see what is going to be the second key eye in store for us.
205 BPM is like that spot where it's probably easy to act, but it's very awkward to execute the coordination patterns, and the map so far has been coordination based, but okay. You cannot have nice things in life forever, and here is your release part.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh no. I think this is going to like trip people up on ag. Like I don't imagine this to like be easy. This pattern specifically for like anyone to ag. I don't think it would really be easy to ag. But yeah, we do get back into the denser part of the map. So, yeah.
Yeah, this map is very multifaceted for a so-called simple chord release break.
And especially near the ending as well, you kind of get some of those wildcard aspects as well, and that final LN jump thrill as well. Now, thankfully it is clean, so it is very unlikely we'll no lock on it, which, I mean, if anyone does that in the qualifiers, I am so sorry. But then we can jump in.
Yeah.
Then we can jump into our stage 4. This is gonna be our next race. This is gonna be our next race pick, and if you can already tell by the song and the intro, this is gonna be our stamina pick.
Yup.
More likely the jump stream stamina pick. Okay, go ahead.
This map is 3 minutes and 21 seconds long and has basically no breaks. Technically, there's one easy part that lasts 20 seconds, but you still cannot really recover, so the strain is still there. But I'm not gonna spoil that much, let's just focus on the current patterning. So far, it's already pretty trill focused. Luckily, only two-handed trills. The one-handed ones are much harder to execute, but some of them may be introduced very soon. But for now, we have this downbeat part of it. What's
What's the VPM of this?
right, 250.
Oh, I thought this was. I don't know why I thought this was 260, but yeah, 250. It's going to be really fast. But
250 is pretty akin to typical qualifiers maps. I remember the MWC one, Undead Sin for 2024 is 247 BPM. So
ooh. So this is going to be basically harder than MWC.
maybe. It's also very draining. Like, you can directly feel your stamina being killed every passing second. Yes, this is your only 20-second break, and you're thrown back at these jump stream patterns again. No more breaks for you, just like 90, 100 seconds or so of pure jump stream health.
Yeah, and also
the one-handed trills are making an appearance here. These are probably the trickiest patterns to execute so far, because naturally playing these patterns force you to do wrist rotations, which are the most draining type of movement in Osumania 4K.
I think definitely when we do look at more the ending, like if I was to somewhat compare something like this, I would mostly say I'd probably say 40M 2023 stage 7 of the qualifiers of a similar jump stream pick like this. But of course, you do have the BPM and the density being a lot heavier. Of course, as you said, the density on the density of the trills, some of the streams also being a bit more abrasively snapped and patterned. And then as well, the jumps are a lot more emphasized. You could see from the first half where, you know, you're probably getting a jump every 1-4 for less, but now we're seeing them every we're seeing a couple of more of those you're gonna see a couple of more of those jumps on every one half note as well. And let me just say, after going through this gauntlet of 4,000 notes at 250 BPM, it will be a pretty significant upseed for you if you do manage to get a
Yeah.
pretty
Hold
good
on, where's
combo.
the background?
Uh-oh. Okay, well,
Maybe the file name is too long. I am not sure. I remember the file name was like an entire 3 sentences or something. But
why?
anyways,
Okay.
this is going to be my clique's LN technical pick of EOS, You Are Innocent Monster. His typical Vocaloid LN tech dub is back for another tournament.
And yeah, already just seeing by the song. I mean, thankfully it is a bit slower, but as already if you have seen this to stage 3, you have a lot more of those abrasive patterns. But I would say stage 3 kind of does have that more wildcard aspect to it. I would say this is a lot more heavier on the density coordinate, not density, technical coordination side. You can see all those scattered releases as well, and even some of those reverse mini shields as well. Like, it's just a map that you can't even follow rhythm as well in Suit.
Yeah. But this kind of reminds me a bit of like what you would see in MWC qualifiers stage 4, if that even makes sense. But I
Yeah,
think this is a pretty much different skill set than MWC stage 4. So
I
yeah.
think the release aspect is kind of there, but the execution is wildly different. It's a lot more erratic and irregular. Like, right, I should mention that the BPM of this map is absolutely inconsistent. I think my clique said that timing this map and placing each timing point is like rolling a dice to decide whether one BPM line should be placed. It's just that bad. Just
So
like,
like the
yeah.
so the BPM basically like changes every time. If
Yeah.
that's oh
It's imagine a lifetime song, but this is kind of like it's an electronic so-called stable BPM song, but distorted to be catering to artistic intention. A very irregular maelstrom of emotional roller coasters, probably.
Oh yeah, and like even then when we are seeing in the main KIs, like I think the coordination aspect is seen a bit less when we do come to what we have seen the final KI. I mean, you do have some of those mini transitions where you get all those scatter releases, but as they're mostly very minimal gap together, and now with the ending,
Yeah, there are a lot more tight, crazy reverse shoots and some mini jacks thrown in. Some in raw form, but some as shields. So this ending may trip a lot of players up. A miss, some 200s, no one knows. You will just have to pray that you are lucky.
Then the next stage is going to be Living Will by GB Rick. This will be our jack based mixed rice. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
But to start off, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So we actually have. So yeah. Free rice, everyone. I mean, there's free rice, free LN, but that's kind of typical how it is. And yeah, the BPM is actually kind of high. What BPM is this again? If you were to remind me.
Yeah, to start off the map, we do see these kind of transitions between the jacks, bit of dumps between the jacks, if I can even say that's what it is, but going to be lots of roll patterns in the map.
Right, the BPM of this song is 154.
Oh yes, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that is
Right?
yeah.
Honestly, I think this is appropriate. I don't think it's very evil at all. It's actually at a sweet spot for me. So
All right, so being at 150, you do get that mini break, but as we have seen from the start, yeah, you are managing between some of those jacks and some of those 1/8 bursts. So you're gonna have to manage 150 jacks, and you're gonna have to manage as well those free.
this anchor part, I think, is a bit different. This is like 89.25 BPM, 1/3, and it's getting slower, but added with mini jacks. And this part ramps up the density by a lot, but it's 134 BPM, so probably balanced. But it does speed up by for a little bit at the end, instead replacing dense jacks with these fast mini jacks and ending with a stream.
Yep, and that does conclude our map. We can move on.
All right, we can move on
Next
to
pick.
our. Okay, stage 7. You could talk about this. You
This
could talk
map
about
is
this.
this is made by Just Any Do You Know, the mapper for stage 2, as well as High-Tex. Though I think I should have placed High-Tex in front of Jaden because he mapped more of this stage. This is going to be your wildcard hybrid, but the intention is to make it at a pretty high BPM typically seen in stream-focused hybrids. However, it's higher BPM than stream hybrids of the same difficulty. It's 256 BPM, and it is pretty evident that this map is not typically the dense, generic stream hybrid, but a pretty tech-based and irregular one. The time signatures are all over the place. There are a lot of patterns being mixed in an indescribable kind of mess. I don't know. I see mostly recognizably graces, dumps, some streams, a bit of anchors, and definitely 256 broken streams.
Yeah, I can also see some hints of mini jacks in this map. I mean, I guess that's what this song is more normally to, like, I think it's normal to put mini jacks in there since this is an FFR map.
Yeah, this song is definitely built for such fast mini jacks. Definitely a bit chokeable, but I don't think it's made to be entirely evil. Oh, this one though, I think it's pretty 200able. Yeah, I dropped a 200 there. This part is super hard to properly coordinate, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. Now, jumping back into the LN. Of course, you do have that kind of mini repetition of the pattern, but again, if you go in with that kind of with a rough start, it could definitely worsen your PA quite a bit. And now jumping into our final third of the map, of course, we're going to be seeing the same format as we have seen to start, but a bit more emphasis on some of those roles as well, which I do believe we earned snapped 1/8 as well. But
the song speeds up right now.
Oh yeah, can't forget about the ending.
Yeah,
It is
the anchors are made much heavier and prone to be missed. Like, there's a coordination kind of aspect to these anchors, and I think if you're not careful, you may actually miss. And yes, this map is that hard. I get 15 200s in this map. But
Wow.
anyways, we come to the final map of the qualifiers map pool. This is a collab map between me and Rick. The background does not show it because I think I missed his name somehow, but it's a collab.
I mean, I think you can just edit it later after the map.
Yeah. Yeah, the uploaded version is going to have the full credit. This map is going to be the so-called LN physical pick. I say it's physical because it's like a density-focused mix pick, but the mix patterns are going to tank your physicality, mainly to contrast with the last two LN maps, which are coordination and tech respectively.
Oh yeah. I mean, the map isn't that long, so if you are kind of one more of those players who can kind of more handle physical but not really too strong stamina, you could probably thrive off this pick, especially how it doesn't really require that much release ability, where you, of course, you know, keeping combos is definitely a lot more key. But yeah, jumping into pure density, and even some of those anchors and some of those reverse shields as well to transition between each drop. Even having some of those mini jacks between as well. So gonna kind of be a bit, so kind of having some of those technical aspects in as well along to density. And yeah, you do get that break as well.
The last part is 200 ppm, but we are building up to a faster pattern motif, which is going to be 220 bpm speed-based LN density. Maybe a bit speed-based, but it actually is mapped to be pretty full. And you will be seeing the pattern right here. These are some relentless and fast LN so-called density patterns.
Alright, actually taking away some of the technical aspects as we have seen from the first drop, but trending it back over towards more raw BPM. So of course you do even have some of those split thrills in the middle of it, and it still continues, throwing back in some of those shields and reverse shields as well in this drop, kind of combining the aspects of what we have seen from our first and second density area. And yet again, we still have 1/3 of the map left, so you're still going to have to keep holding on. Do get that break as well though, so kind of there to regain your composure, maybe get your stamina a bit back up, but of course the last drop is not going to be holding back.
Yep.
Yeah.
The last drop is 216 BPM by the way, but the patterning is much denser. Let's see the final chorus for yourself.
Yeah, and I get that this is an LN physical map, but I think this map, I mean, this part is like probably the most physical part of the map. Unless it was probably the earlier part, but
the previous sections are a bit coordination as well because it's a mixed pick after all.
Yeah.
And here we are at the ending, containing some of those split throws, even some hand stream, and more of those emphasis on the jumps, on even getting denser on some of the jumps as well. And with that closeout with some of those final split thrills, that is going to conclude our stage A and going to be our qualifier map pool as well.
Yup, beware of the final grays. You do not want to miss those. That's like four misses at least, because that's 2 LNs, which accounts to 4 notes in score V2.
And just like that, that is going to conclude our qualifiers. So the registration, not the registrations, the rescheduling will be open for all you players for next week. So the map pool also should be out soon. And yeah, we also do have our playoffs for next week. So we will get into that a bit later when the time does come around.
Yeah.
Yep. The map pool message will be up soon, and so will be qualifiers lobbies. I hope to get them released tomorrow on the master sheet. Tomorrow for me at least, although it's already midnight here.
It's like
So
1 a.m.
yeah.
Okay. All right. All I can say now is best of luck to everyone qualifying or playing, and make sure to practice the pools because these pools are really hard. So, yeah.
only to increase your expectations, I guess. So yeah, just like that. Take care.
Bye.